this story is a living passion. I'm not crashing.
Now, even though this is overall going to be a very light valued painting, the darkest center, not really the center of interest, but the darkest value is going to be in the vase here. So I'm going to first of all start with a bit of a neutralized yellow. Yeah, so neutralize that yellow. I'm going to suggest the detail of the stems and various things that you see in there. And I want a sort of a neutralized green. I'm just going to start to suggest some things happening. And I'm going to take a little stroke of blue. Okay, now I want to go down, take a step down the value scale, and this, you can see, I hope you can see there, that this is definitely a drier version. So it's a stronger value and drier, so that I can start to get some more specific shapes. So this would be like the things that are, some more of that. So I'm just making sure I have less water in my mixture. And also down at the bottom, I want it to go to more of a blue-violet. Here I'm going to take my blue-violet again, because I want to get the shadow in while this is still wet, because I do want them to run together. So I get a nice blue-violet and come around. And then I want to come more to the green. Okay, and I'm going to have a little bit of the violet. And I just want a few I'm going to do some of the background, and this is a lovely example of negative painting. We're going to see the table that these plants are sitting on magically appear, and I think what I'll do is just pre-wet. I'll start on this side. I'm going to go right over these, but I want to be careful when I go around this to leave some white on this plant. And again, I do not want to be rigorous in following the lines. Okay, now I need to have a darker version of this green. And also neutralize it a little bit. And come in. I'm resting my finger because I don't want to be messing this up. You can use this darker mix to refine the edges, and in other areas I'm going to leave the white. Just going to take some pure water here. I want to bring this background up more. Okay, and while I'm up here, this these plants are going to have they're sort of a yellow. I'm going to add a violet wash around them, but I'm going to pre-wet it. And I'm going to come in with this now. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I have actually I have one over here, so I'll just pre-wet this. Forgetting, I'm a slave to the lines. I have a line there, but I don't want to go that. I want to leave a little white to really let this flower soften off. And break up this edge and a bit down there. There's a few more. Actually, I'll start with the main ones. This time I'm going to remember, I'm not going to go right to the edge of the flower. I want a little bit of white left in there. And there's another one up there. Just tilt it for a second. Okay, now I'm going to mix up a stronger mixture of the green. Try a little orange in there. I don't want that one. Just don't want that to be as damp as it is. No, I need some more down here. This green is a little bit too weak. I have one up here. I want to come in and add some darker value. Want some darker stuff in there. Now this one, you can see it's fairly dry because it's not running, so I'm going to take just water and soften that edge. And one thing I want to do, there's a knife down here. I'm going to start off with a light yellow wash, and there's also a shadow on that, and I'll put that in. Okay, I just let it dry, plus I erased most of the pencil lines just to clean it up a little bit, and it's pretty much done. Just a few things I want to touch up. One is I want a darker shadow on this knife. Because I want to mix up a fairly strong green, and I just want a few accents here and there. Put one up here. Maybe just a little bit more. Bring that down like that. Soften the edge, the bottom, and introduce a little bit of I've taken a look and it's really quite lovely, and I think though I'm going to utter the phrase that has ruined more paintings than anything else, and that's I'll just add a little bit more. And that's really, I just would like a little bit more definition in these plants, or in the flowers. So I need to really keep this as a light value. And I'm going on dry paper. With a little light wash. A bit more to the orange side in this one. And a bit more to the orange up here in this one. Okay, when I finally sat back and looked at it thinking it was totally finished, I just realized it probably could use a little more definition in some of the flowers. So I've just added a slight bit of darker value here, around here, right around there, a little bit there, and a little bit there, and that's it. And now I think it's finished.